I'm back.
Wow. Yeah.
And I just said, it was me, assholes. Out of my youth and cheekiness, I decided I was going to ruin the next take. Because I saw the doors closing and I ran for the elevator, got through the closing doors and found that it was just me and Stan Lee in the elevator together.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Friend Zone podcast. Today we are being joined by Timothy Rose, or Tim Rose. Say hello.
Woo.
Hello.
We've also got a bit of a different, something different. Tim couldn't join us our Tim couldn't join us this week, so we are joined by the winner of the Marvel Elimination Game, Barlow, everybody. Alex Barlow, say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Look, sorry, Barlow, this is not about you. We'll move back to
Congratulations on winning, Barlow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was beat out eight other contestants, including these.
We all know I was a champion.
You got beat.
You went out
you were the champion.
So, Tim, you are a puppeteer. Yes, you've been in a few numerous projects. Muppet Christmas Carol. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Simon Muppet. Yeah.
Christmas Carol, Dark Crystal, and Star Wars, obviously. So how did that? Where did you?
Got that one.
Yeah, the
Labyrinth.
The lab. Oh.
Oh.
I didn't even. Oh yeah. I don't even. Oh, yeah, the Labyrinth as well.
That's a banger.
The reason I keep that one out is because Jim signed it for me.
Oh,
No,
my God.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Everything else lives in a box in the loft, but I keep that one out in my house.
That is, yeah.
I recognised it when it came up when you first joined the chat, and that's when I was like, that is an awesome photo in the background.
It's a bit windy, wasn't it?
It didn't even occur to me. I was just looking at his beautiful face. So, how did your career in puppetry begin then?
I couldn't decide what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I had really enjoyed my art classes at school, and I enjoyed writing and sculpting. So I started university. I thought maybe I'd try being a graphics arts major. But while I was at the university, we had Renaissance fairs, medieval fairs, where we weren't allowed to have anything modern there. It all had to be handmade. And I decided I was going to do a Punch and Judy show for the fair. And when I started doing the Punch and Judy show, I suddenly realized that I didn't need to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up, because if I stuck with puppetry, I could do all the things that I really enjoyed all at the same time. I could act, like write, I could.
You do all sorts of puppetry. That's a right good.
Yeah, because I'm the oldest animatronics designer as well.
Wow.
So I design and build all the stuff before I perform it. So
what are some of the, like, so by that you mean like you created some yourself? Like you? Sorry.
Yeah, that's how I got the job with Jim Henson, was working with Fos Vazakis, and because Kermit rode a bicycle, he wanted all the Muppets to ride bicycles, so we did that. We built radio-controlled Muppets that could fly their own hot air balloon. Built characters like Hoggle and Ludo, and
yeah. That's really cool. I like how you decided on what you wanted to do by a Renaissance fair of all things.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Renaissance. Has anyone actually been to one here?
I'd love to.
No, I've never. I've only seen it in films and TV.
Yeah.
So.
Well, these started just after the 60s. It was during the 1970s, that last century there.
Yeah.
the hippies were still around. So of course the Renaissance fit right in with hippiedom, getting back to and living in tents and cooking over wood fires and all that character,
So let's talk about the Muppets Christmas Carol. How was that? Like, Jim, did you which like, I don't know, what characters were you puppeteering and all? What did you do?
I helped with a lot of characters. All the main Muppet characters, the main puppeteers did like 4 different characters on the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And they wrote the show so that no 2 of those characters would be in the same scene. But when we started doing the movies, several of the characters would appear at once. So there was a scene where Frank Oz was doing Miss Piggy, so I was doing Fozziwig, Fozzie the Bear.
Yeah.
Wow.
But not when he was doing anything important, because Frank would do him when he was important. Actually, it's a fun story about that. I was doing Fozzie Bear, and of course I was very nervous because he was such an important character. And we did the first take, and Frank Oz came over to me and said, Tim, back it off. You're doing too much with him. And because it was just a crowd scene, And I was like, oh, sorry, Frank. I was just trying to do what I thought you would do with him, so I'll do it less. So we did the second take, and I didn't do as much movement or much action, And Frank came over and he said, Tim, still too much. Don't do so much. So this was for a few more takes. And I got to the point where I was so frustrated because I'd tried everything I thought was the right thing to do, and I didn't actually have any ideas left about what to do. So out of my youth and cheekiness, I decided I was going to ruin the next take. Because he hadn't told me what to do, just what not to do. So I decided I'm going to ruin the next take, and while everybody is singing and dancing around in the scene, Fozzie Bear is going to be there dead like he's on a stick. So I held him totally still and didn't move him at all. And then waited to get shouted at, and Frank came over and he said, Tim, that was perfect. That was just what I wanted from you.
What a great...
Whoa. He didn't like other people doing his characters, basically.
So
the less you did, the better. I got to do Animal as well in one of the shots in that. I rigged all the mice for the closing down scenes when they were all leaving the accountant's offices and just lots of stuff all the way through.
I suppose Frank didn't want to lose his job to you.
Too good.
Intimidated.
Just too good.
I don't think there was much danger of that. I mean, he is he's a master. Because I build animatronics, I knew for a fact that Frank, although he did a lovely job with the Yoda puppet, he never actually liked the physical puppet character itself. He wasn't the world's best built puppet, I'll put it that way. So one of my things was, in my bucket list, was I always wanted to build a Yoda for Frank.
Did you get around to it?
I didn't get to. Unfortunately, when they were doing the latest one, The Last Jedi, where Frank came back and did the Yoda again, they actually went and they pulled the original Yoda out of the archives and they measured everything to the micrometer and they built an exact replica of the puppet Frank didn't like in the first place.
Must have been a low blow.
Oh, wow.
So I never got to build a nicer Yoda for Frank. So I made lots of things for him. So I knew what he liked. I think I could have done a good job for him. But
so when The Last Jedi remake comes out,
the remake.
Time to shine. Yeah.
I suppose the last time they did actually change up the Yoda from the original puppet was in the prequels, and that got absolutely slated.
That did not work well.
I guess there's
another one gets bites of dust to CG. Yes,
yeah. And then they had to change it to a CG one instead. And then, luckily, back to a puppet in the newest ones, which is actually...
I prefer that,
I mean,
Good
practical effects, I think, will always be better than CGI effects.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you about that.
They're so clever, just the way people do things. Like, if you see, I saw a documentary about Spielberg, and when he was a little kid filming short films, and he'd put like little sticks underneath, in like a wall film, underneath a pile of dirt. So if someone runs onto the stick, the dirt will go, so it looked like they were getting shot at. I was like, I love things like that. It's just so clever.
The little details. So did your life, like, did anything like change with you when CG started becoming a big thing then, Tim?
Yes, I started working less.
Oh,
yeah, that's not the best, is it?
It was funny when CG first started. The whole thing was meant to be that now we had a way to cut the cost of animatronics, because our animatronics were getting more and more involved, more and more elaborate, but also getting more and more expensive at the same time.
Yeah.
So they first started coming around on set saying, we could do that, but it would make it cost cheaper. And now the irony is that we can build animatronic characters for about a tenth of what it costs to generate a CG character.
Yeah.
But
times have changed.
Yeah. I've realized that, we had, was it The Force Awakens? It was Force Awakens, where they had the big casino scene.
Yeah.
7 animatronic characters that were so good, any one of them could have carried their own scene, but not one of them is in the movie.
What? Really?
No way.
I thought there was... No.
They just never came around and looked at them. We were when we were running them, most of them were people in suits with the second person running the heads and things for them, and we were sort of writing and directing our own scenes while waiting for them to turn over.
Oh my God.
Wow. Like I said, these characters, they were fabulous, but what I realized at that point was it isn't that CG got better than animatronics, it's that nobody remembers how to shoot animatronics.
Yeah. It's been so
they
long.
Needs to be brought back.
When to take the best of each one.
I wonder, you dabbled with a bit of Marvel.
The best movie ever.
Filming Howard the Duck. So what was that like?
Well, I laughed because I just a few months ago I bought one of the recent autobiographies of Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Now, because in my old age now, I have to do a lot of conventions because there's more conventions than there is film work.
Yeah.
I was at a convention and one of the fans came up to me and he said, well, of course, you realize you were the first Marvel character to be in the movies. I said, what are you talking about? Well, Howard the Duck was a Marvel character. And I thought about it. I said, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I'd never really thought about it that way. For me, it was Iron Man was the first one, wasn't he? Or, one of those.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
So later that evening, when we were leaving convention, I got back to the hotel. And, of course, the hotel elevators get extremely busy at conventions. So if you miss the door, you might wait 20 minutes to get the next elevator. So I saw the doors closing, and I ran for the elevator, got through the closing doors, and found that it was just me and Stan Lee in the elevator together.
What?
And the only thing I got to say to him was, "Oh, of course you realize I was your first Marvel character." Howard the Duck, like that. And he didn't talk to me again the whole way up in the elevator. Then I read the biography that Stan had left New York and moved to California, and he was desperately trying to get his characters into the movies. And of course, the first one to happen was Howard the Duck. Unfortunately, the critical reaction to that movie was so bad that Stan Lee didn't get another one of his characters into the movies for 10 years.
No.
So he didn't actually like me much. Oh, you're the guy who kept me out of the movies for 10 years after you did that. It wasn't my fault. It was the director, Willard Hyde.
Never.
You were just doing your job.
I was doing the best that I could. It is, in fact, from an animatronic standpoint, it's the film that I'm the proudest of.
Oh.
Although the character was very flawed, the film was very flawed. Animatronically, when I watched the film back again, we kept the duck alive in every single edit, in every single shot, all the way through the movie. And that was very difficult to do in those days.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of what a good job we did of keeping him alive. You might not have totally liked him, or you might not have totally liked the movie, but,
to be fair,
it was a dead duck, we kept the duck alive.
Yeah, to be fair, I've seen, I'll put some clips over the top of this, but like, if you see, he actually is, that's probably, Howard the Duck is probably the best part of, well, because he's the best part of the whole film, because he seems like not like a CG character, but like someone does a CG character and everyone's like, whoa, that looks so real. Well, this is just better version of that.
The actual real version.
It was like alive and everything. Like you couldn't really tell. I couldn't, to be fair. I was like, is that someone in a costume or something? Like it was.
Yeah,
it's well done.
When we do our job well, you forget that we're there. Called suspension of disbelief, and it's like the character doesn't necessarily have to be completely real, because what we discovered with the animatronics is the closer you try to copy reality, the further away you get.
Yeah,
they start to become almost ghoulish, when they're so close to being real, but yet they're not. It holds you back. Whereas if you just create a fantasy character but do such a good job of imitating life and real movements that people just go along with the fun of it, then they actually take on more of a life than some of the CG characters do.
Yeah, you can see that in numerous films. I mean, Jurassic Park, the T-Rex, that's probably one of the best animatronics I've seen in film. I mean,
has to be.
I didn't even know it's an animatronic until I watched some back behind the scenes footage, and I was like, "What? How?" But no, puppetry, animatronics.
That's our new compliment. Was when you tell somebody you did something and they go, "Oh, I thought it was CG."
Yeah.
That was supposed to mean you did such a good job that we thought it was.
Yeah.
But that's a compliment.
So a couple of weeks ago on this podcast, we had, I think you'll know him. We had Mike Quinn. He joined us. He joined us for one of these podcasts, and he said, "Oh, why didn't you get Tim Rose?" And we were like, "Oh, yeah, why don't we?" So straight away, that same evening, I sent it off. And obviously here you are now. But did you work with Mike before, like Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would have, like maybe like Muppets, was it?
Mike got his start on the Muppet Show. Although he's younger than I am, he was actually working there before me.
Oh.
And, he started early, didn't he?
Yes, very early. He in his early 16 years, he lived at Boreham Wood, which was where they were filming The Muppet Show.
16, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He got permission to come on set and watch them filming. And then he came back and got permission again. And then he came back again and again and again. And Jim finally said, this kid's not going home. We might as well give him a job.
Persistence works. Persistence works.
Yeah. So we did Great Muppet Caper together, Dark Crystal together, and Labyrinth.
Yeah. All those classic
Star Wars
puppet films.
I was going to ask you, have you ever seen the original Return of the Jedi that has our puppet-sized noodles that Mike and I did, as opposed to the CG? Because I've never looked it up officially, but I think that Sice Noodles might have been the first animatronic character to be replaced by CG. After the movie made.
Yeah, I've seen the. I've not seen it in actually in the film, but I've seen the scenes where you can see the animatronic singing a little song. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Well, it was a flawed piece.
I grew up with the CGI size noodles.
Wish we could have seen just growing up on the animatronic. Yeah, that's the word.
Well, George Lucas goes back and changes it every day. So there's 10 different versions of the same film now.
Not anymore.
It's kind of like the colorizing.
Yeah.
They did the colorizing of the First World War footage, but that was real things. Real film and stills. And I really liked that because it did seem to bring it more to life. But I think with black and white movies, we should leave them black and white.
Yeah.
They have to be.
It was the art form,
It was what they're intended to be. That's the thing. It's how it was made to be. It's not supposed to be
color.
I don't know. Yeah,
tampered with. Yeah.
I suppose if they do that, they kind of just
remember the movie. But he did a movie in black and white so that they could intercut it with old Second World War footage.
Yeah.
And all he managed to do was prove how much we forgot about filming in black and white. Because I talked to some of the old guys and they said, well, when we were filming in black and white, you would never believe it because color didn't matter. It was all about saturation density.
Yeah.
The art form was to find how many different shades of gray you could use to create the fullest picture.
Yeah.
So people could be standing there in a bright orange costume next to somebody in a dark purple costume, just because in black and white, those two colors became nice shades of gray. And when you look at the old black and whites, the depth of picture that they managed to get when only working with shades of gray was phenomenal. And only when you try to copy it do you realize just how good they were.
That's so clever. I've never heard about that. I thought they just always did it randomly. They just did it without color.
You assume they just wore gray outfits.
I assumed the world was in black and white. Was it not? Oh my goodness. Be growing up in a pretty crazy world.
They would never watch a black and white movie. When I had them in the house and I was trying to watch a movie. Oh no, Dad, we won't watch that. It's black and white. And I saw in Time Out magazine, they said Some Like It Hot was being shown at the cinema. So I didn't say anything. I just said, there's a movie I think you'll like. Let's all go down to the Leicester Square, and we'll watch this movie. So we got to see it on a great big screen. And we sat there and watched the whole movie. And we came out and I looked at them and I said, well, what'd you think of that? And they said, that movie was fantastic. And I said, well, you realize you've watched a black and white movie. And they started arguing with me that it wasn't black and white. And I said, I'm afraid it was. We have to go back to the next matinee so you can prove I can prove I was just tricked you into watching a black and white movie.
Oh, I mean, I guess we're just too used to being spoiled with colour, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're like, black and white, what? No, people automatically think that black and white means it's going to be bad. That's what, yeah, just because of
Shame.
cinemas.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I think some movies still do some black and white. What's it? Sin City did black and white throughout that whole film. Looked quite good. But, yeah, it's just been ran over.
Overridden.
Overridden. It's been left behind by the evolution of cinema now. What I was going to ask you about was obviously Star Wars. Big old Admiral Ackbar. How did you become Ackbar?
A legend.
I was working with Phil Tippett in the workshop creating alien characters.
Yeah.
And Ackbar was one of the ones that I was assigned to do the mechanics for, the animatronics for. George used to come down to the workshop at nighttime, and the first character that we had built that he chose to be the Admiral was the one called Riri's. And he's a he's three-eyed giraffe face looking kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said to George, well, your Admiral's meant to be one of the good guys. And because of his three eyes, I would have a very hard time finding an eye-focused camera.
Yeah.
Which, with the best will in the world, this character that you've chosen is always going to seem shifty to the audience. Based on what I learned working with Jim Henson, I said. Eye focus was very important. So I said, he's a great character, but I don't think he should be that character in charge of everything. And that's when George shifted over to the red calamari guy.
Yeah.
Or became the Admiral. I was already doing Slate and Dice Noodles on the movie. So I went to Phil and I said, so Phil, does this calamari guy appear in the same scenes as these other two? And he says, no, he's in his own scenes. And I said, oh, well, I do him too then. And he said, okay. So that's how I got the part of doing Admiral.
Nice. That's nice. It's weird. It's a bit weird that you could like.
Yeah, I'd like to.
The Admiral could.
I say at the convention, I would like to say that I auditioned against thousands of actors and I got the part. But the truth is, I asked Phil if I could do it, and he said yes.
I mean,
stood out beyond everyone else.
If it's not broken,
nobody else asked.
Yeah.
There we go. I was going to say, it's weird how we could have just had not Ackbar, but we could have had like Reese Yeast, who's like now in like the background of Jabba's palace and whatnot. He could have been this whole fan favorite character. Do you think it would have worked out the same?
No.
No.
True.
I mean, I suppose like I can't remember, the guy who did the voice for Ackbar probably did it based on the
toothbrush out.
The appeal. I've been cleaning stuff with my toothbrush and I just realised I picked it up and started playing around with it. I'll just put it down. What I was saying was, I can't remember what I was saying.
You're trying to clean off your Ackbar pots.
Yeah, I'm cleaning the window for it. That's what I was doing. So you can see right into the back of it. It's perfect. It works. I don't brush my teeth in my bedroom, I swear. But
in the hall.
I suppose
He just doesn't brush his doesn't brush his teeth.
Yeah.
the dentist would say otherwise. Probably not, actually. But I was going to say, I'll go back to my actual point.
Still got the toothbrush.
The voice actor would probably base their work on the appearance of the character, so the voice would also be different as well. So they wouldn't have had the same iconic voice and the iconic look of Ackbar. So yeah, maybe it wouldn't work out as well.
What I was proud about with Ackbar was he was what we would call a wall-eyed character. I'm back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had,
Return of Tim Rose.
I had to shout at my wife because she was WhatsApping her brother, and I said, Tia, I have a very small internet connection. I think you could be helping to use up my bandwidth here.
Yeah.
Awesome. It seems a lot better now.
Yeah, it's much better now.
So I was talking about Ackbar's eyes.
Yeah.
And I made them so that the pupils, the lens of the eyes, pulled the pupil out into it. So even though they're on the outside of his head, when I looked at camera, he looked like he was looking straight at you. So when you get that focus, it gives it that light.
That's a cool little trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went to work on The Force Awakens, I got taken in to have my life cast done so they could make my carbon fiber helmet to go in the new 36 servo Ackbar. It didn't need a hand puppet anymore now.
No.
And I was asking her, I said, so how are you getting on with the character? And they said, oh, well, okay, but we're having a lot of problems with the eyes. We just can't seem to get the eyes to work. And I said, well, you should get in touch with the guy who made them because he could tell you how they work. And I went, really? Have you got his email? Do you know who he is, where he lives, all that? Tell us his email so we can get in touch with him. And I just said, it was me, assholes.
That's like that instantly made me think of that scene in New Hope when Obi-Wan's like, oh, do you know? He's like, old Ben, I haven't heard him in a long time. He's like, oh, do you know him? Do you know where he is? And you're like, yeah,
it's me.
It's me.
So basically, Tim Rose, the real Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that's what we've established here today.
There we go.
Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into game time.
Game time.
This one's a quite an easy one. Me and Tom played it before on the when we've been on the consoles. So everyone can play this one, including me. So I'm actually happy about that. It's quite simple. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be. It's quite broad as well. Name a film, right? So we're going to go around. So Tim can start. So he'll say a film, and then Alex will have to say a film starting with the last letter of the film that Tim said.
Okay.
No.
And it'll go like that around. So then I'll go after Alex, Tom will go after me, Harry after Tom, and then Tim after Harry. Blah, 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 blah. And then we'll probably put like a time like 30 seconds on.
How about if I just say I lose right now?
I will. Is it any film?
Yeah, just any film.
Oh.
It'd be too hard if we specified it. It's some letters come up that over and over and over again. So, Tim, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, I'll start with one that a friend of mine directed. Blade.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
See what about it.
Home.
Is there a film called Executioner?
Oh, I just heard one.
Is it the
Is there a film called Executioner?
Executioner.
Tim just gave a great
Yeah,
example.
he gave
there,
a
but-
great
Yeah, you just gave him an answer so
Brain
easy.
that.
No, I didn't hear it.
You said phone home.
Oh yeah, E.T. E.T.'s one.
There we go.
There we
Yeah.
go. Oh wait, why was I too busy focused on you? Oh dear, T. I'm gonna do T.
Mate, there's loads of T's.
Yeah,
And that's the T.
That's T.
The Invisible Man. That's a film, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
bandaged face.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're on N, Tom.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
Evening.
Good day.
I'm alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a little think. N.
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds.
N.
I've got one for N.
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 Is there one with an N? I don't know if there is.
There is one.
Let me just get the timer up for you. There we go. Right, you got 30 seconds, mate. Come on. N.
Mate, I can't think of any.
I'm trying to think. I haven't got any.
I've gone for N.
Well, Bally, you're not me, alright?
Oh yeah, I've got one. Yeah. Come on, Tom. Oh, put half an hour on. All right, you're done. You're done. Get out.
Yeah, I'm done. I can't
done,
think
right.
of one.
You got me. Yeah.
Oof.
Joking, I'll unmute you.
Places to go.
Oh, where's he gone?
Game,
He's gone.
Are you kidding me?
I'm here.
Right, Harry,
game's rigged.
you have to do the you have to do N instead.
I have to do the N.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm having problems with that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, N's hard.
I can't.
You can't get
Crazy,
it.
you can't get it. Stop.
Neptune.
What?
Is there a movie called Neptune?
Is that
Have a look.
Tim's nodding? Is there actually a film called Neptune?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but now we're back to E again, so that wasn't very nice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there is.
Still
Still
got-
in. Still
I've got an E
Game
already. So
Rigged.
Wait, can
Come
we
on.
get Joey? Do you actually have an N?
yeah,
I do.
What's
as
your
well.
N?
I'm not going to tell you. It might pop up again.
Okay.
Oh, it's up there. Okay.
Got to play smart. Sorry,
Okay.
Tim, you're on a E.
Who?
Tim's on
Timmy. E.
What?
Let-
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
Yours, yours.
Oh, we're waiting for my E.
E. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, E.
I've got
I'll put some dramatic music on in the background. Dum dum.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, when you start thinking of it, it's like, is it
Yeah,
really a
it
film?
goes.
Or am I making this up?
Well, we can have a little Google check.
Eternal Night? Is that a film?
Eternal
Ooh.
Night. Ooh.
If it's not, it should be.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It sounds like a good film.
Oh.
It was Spyro.
What about Enders?
Enders.
Enders will be one.
Enders is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So S. Oh, S is a hard one.
Spider-Man.
This is such a
Oh,
S is...
N. I told you I'd go back to N. I told you it would
Is
happen.
it my turn? Is it my turn?
You just said Spider-Man, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So back to N. All right. Now you see me.
Oh, that was a good one.
Ah. I mean,
Can
that's
you,
Oh,
like, see the
now I'm
pre-
putting back
see-
onto E. Back
Okay.
to E for Tim. I'm
I'm
sorry.
telling you,
It's me.
E's the
Harry, it's Harry,
Harry.
it's Harry, it's all good.
I'm here.
Harry went out.
No, I
No, he
didn't.
Nah,
Did
He
you
said
not?
Neptune.
Neptune.
he said
Neptune.
Neptune.
Harry,
Edward
you're
Scissorhands. Edward
Yeah, but I
Scissorhands.
started
That
doing
was mine. That was
Hey,
mine.
there you go.
Nice.
Hey.
Nice.
That was the answer I was gonna use.
I guess that's S for. Is it? Yeah. S.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that one?
Tim, you're on S.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, again.
Yes. Star Trek
Okay.
the movie.
Star Trek the movie. Well,
Surprised you should go for that one.
Oh, the fans are not going to be happy.
Oh, I have to go E now.
Back on E.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
but it was
even
Star Trek.
Trek.
It was the movie.
I think it's just Star Trek. I think it's just called Star Trek.
Just go for the K.
K.
Okay, go for
K,
the K.
yeah.
I can't think of any films
Easy.
during the...
K's
Oh,
easy.
easy, mate.
K.
Easy.
What?
Can you actually think of a film with K?
No.
Yes, I can. I can.
Kirby Buckets? Is that one? Is that
What?
a film? I heard of a film called Kirby. Is that a film called Kirby Buckets?
Kirby
Never heard of
Buckets.
I feel like that's a film.
Kirby Buckets.
Yeah, mate.
Kirby, Joey, give it a look up.
Oh, Kirby
Bucket.
Buckets.
I'm just stalling.
Oh, that's a TV
A
show.
TV show?
Oh, come on, man.
A Disney TV show.
Mate,
Oh.
so you're looking at me like I'm
I
strange.
only think of Killing Eve, but that's a TV show
That's a
too.
TV
Yeah,
show.
that's a TV
Yeah.
Turning me
Oh,
into a
dear.
film. I can't.
I think I've got one, but I think I've played it. It's my go anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
Is that
pretty
when Bala's
sure.
out?
But I'm out. I think I'm out, aren't I?
Yeah.
Bala's out.
Oh, but
that's very much.
it might not be a film because I know it's a
Oh.
TV show, but I don't know if there's a film with it.
I'll get ready. What is it?
Knight Rider.
Oh, you.
Is there? I thought is there a film for Knight Rider as well?
Knight Rider.
Boom! Yes!
Not Rider.
Yay! I got the approval from Tim Horry.
Oh,
Yeah,
mine
probably,
then.
yeah.
That's perfect. So I'm on R. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh no!
Last that.
King Kong, man.
Oh,
Hey, there you go.
Oh
No, you just gave Tim an answer.
I just thought now.
Oh.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny after you think of them, you go, why didn't I?
Yeah.
Wasn't it
it's
screaming? at
small,
me?
it's the pressure, yeah.
Wait, so Tim, do you have an answer for K?
Tut?
King Tut. Is that film? It's surely someone's made a film.
Surely they've done a film on King Tut.
Oh. The Curse of
Oh.
King Tut's Tomb.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the full title, is it?
I mean, to be fair, we let Harry off with Indiana
Raiders
Jones.
of the Lost Ark.
He didn't
Come
say
on.
Indiana Jones.
That's a good point, but still.
Da-da-da.
But I suppose. So
Who's left in?
Tut's not.
No, okay, I'll try again.
We'll give you another chance. What is it? What K?
Okay. I know one.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not many.
I got one based off Barlow's.
I can think of tons of them with the K in the title, but not at the
not
Yeah.
starting it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Big
Oh,
sword.
I've just thought of another one.
And
it's
with the King, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one that's just come out as well.
just 2 letters away. That was a good Fanta for me to know that.
I've got 2 now, okay. Oh my god.
You're just torturing Tim now.
I am.
Keep on trucking. No, that's a song.
Oh.
It sounds like what's his name? Randy Orton. Is it? No, that's a wrestler.
That's a wrestler.
Randy Newman.
Randy Orton.
Sounds like a Randy Newman song.
Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking all the way back home.
Yeah, now I can't get to keep on. Man.
No.
Oh.
Okay. I lose. What's the forfeit? I give up.
Well, Harry, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's
Young K
yours, yeah?
still.
Okay.
Okay.
Still on K.
Kong Skull Island.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
D.
yeah.
Quick fire. Come on.
Dr. Dolittle.
What's that? E. Elf.
Yeah.
Nice.
F.
Oh,
Yeah. Easy.
easy. You almost nearly said
The last letter?
F.
F.
Fright Night.
there's loads.
Five Nights at Freddy's is not a movie, definitely not.
Isn't it a movie?
No,
it's
it's a game. It's about 10 different games.
Were they going to make a movie?
Yeah.
They should.
They just didn't.
They should
Oh,
have.
they still are, I don't know. It's been like 5 years since that rumour came out. Come on, Harry. You're on F. It's easy. There's like 10 different ones that have got the same word in it.
There's so many.
Oh, there's a classic.
Such an easy one.
There was a massive one that came out in like 2013.
I'm thinking a bit older.
I'm thinking way back.
I think you're thinking the same as I am, Tom.
Oh, well,
I'm not thinking anything.
What was that?
What was that? I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. No, you'll know if I tell you what it is.
Of course. Go on, then tell me what it is.
I mean, I was going to say
Should we just kick him out?
Frankenstein.
I mean, I said that. It doesn't count.
What are you on about?
Yeah, Tom said that. Nah, you're
Did
done.
you say that?
You're
Okay,
done.
I'm done.
You're done.
That's why I made that noise.
What were some other ones?
Frozen.
I was thinking Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday 13th.
Yeah.
Absolute classic.
Fix it. No.
Or Freaky Friday.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Harry, you just
I'm a
embarrassing.
disgrace.
You know,
I'm a disgrace.
you should just quit.
I mean, you went out first round
Right.
with me, so it's
I'll
alright.
do a Timothy Turton. See you lot later.
Night at the museum.
So, I like to say I won that game. Thank you very much, everybody.
The host won.
Thank you. The host won the game. Didn't cheat.
Well done.
Slow clap.
So we're going to move on to
Slow
some
clap.
fan questions for you, Tim. I've gone over to Facebook. I've asked and got a couple of questions for you from the fans. Some of them I don't even know what they mean because they're all just puns. They're all just puns, to be fair. But actually, there's an actual proper one. He says, regarding to Ackbar's head, what's that thing called that's a bit like a snare?
What?
Not really sure what he means by that. I think he might mean the nose or the chin. I don't know. What's that thing called that's a bit like a snare? Oh, I know. I think I know what he's on about. Oh no, I don't think it's. It's like isn't like a snare is like a thing you put down so it flings people.
The snare.
What's that thing that's a bit like a snare?
The loop snares that you trap.
Is it another word?
It's a pun. He's asking what's like a snare?
He's got waddles in. That's all I can think of.
Is it another word?
It's nothing to do with his face.
Is it another word to do with what's on Joey's wall?
Yeah, he goes. What's
is
no?
Is it another word to do with what's on the back of Joey's wall?
It's a light. It's on the back of my wall. If you're referencing to this light, that's shadow. That seems to get quite a bit of attention within these podcasts. So,
secret friend.
He is. Yeah.
Very friendly.
I'll tell you what the guy was referencing in the comment.
Oh yeah, I can see. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just realised. I've got there's like 3 more on that side of the wall, so you know, I'm lucky I'm not filming that way.
Oh, you got 4 secret friends.
What's that thing called that's a bit like a snare? I think he's trying to reference a snare is kind of a trap, like you said, Tim.
Yeah.
He wanted the word.
He was
trap.
trying to word play. Yes.
Oh, why did that take me so long to realise? Another one. That was from Chris Flinders, by the way. This one's from. I'm gonna.
Are you going to edit it? You could make me look clever, and I could just say it's a trap.
Yeah, that would be exactly. Yeah.
And then just cut out that 20 minutes of waffling in between.
Yeah.
This one's from. I'm gonna absolutely slate this name. Quandushi Rattlebucket. No, sorry, Quandushi Rattlebutt. He says, at what point did you really first learn that it's a trap?
At what point did I?
What point did you learn that it's a trap?
It was when the Death Star started to come alive, when they started firing up the lasers and things. That's when I knew it was a trap.
And another final one here is, have you ever felt trapped in a personal relationship? They're all just puns. They're all just puns.
No.
Why? That's from Brian Mays, not Brian May. Brian Mays with the S in the end. So
more than
well, I'm 64 years old, so obviously that has happened several times.
Several times.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh dear. I think everyone at one point does. But do you think Ackbar ever has? Or do you think? I mean, in The Rise of Skywalker, he has a son.
Yes.
So.
Yes, we're supposed to do our first public appearance together. At a convention in Texas coming up, but Texas just went into lockdown again, so I got put on hold. I got to go. The guy Tom, who played my son in that, we did a movie that used one of the animatronic gorillas that we had made in it. So we were all out filming in Prague together and everything. So he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool.
I didn't work on episode 9, so I only found out at one of the conventions that I had a son, and 2 months he was there, but I can't for the life of me remember who his mother is. So
it'd be a bit weird, like someone coming up to you and go, "Tim, you've got a son." You're like, "What? Wait, what?" No, sorry, Ackbar's got a son.
I thought I should start telling her. There's at the American conventions, there's this woman who dresses up as a female bunny girl calamari.
Oh.
So she does all red and sort of a bunny girl outfit, fairly revealing, but has the head of a calamari that's been really nicely done prosthetically. And then, of course, 2 bunny ears off the calamari head. So
what? That's something.
We just found Junior's mother.
That's the female calamari I can think of, so it must be her.
You heard it here first.
Everyone, breaking news. Admiral Ackbar is his wife is a play bunny.
You'll have to look out for her on the internet now. I'm sure she shows up.
She'll be there somewhere.
Mentioned websites, but I can't remember what her name was.
So I've got how many do I have? Yeah, I've got a nice big final question. You know, I think it's very important for us to hear your point of view about this, because from the fans' point of view, it's disgusting and horrible and
wrong,
unjustified. So how do you feel about the way Ackbar died in episode 8?
You never got to see the way Ackbar died.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't believe they just threw him away. It's disgraceful. Actually, to be honest, I'm not even lying. It annoyed me. I was well annoyed. It's just.
Well, we filmed even in this day of CG, we filmed a very spectacular death scene.
What?
It was so spectacular that I wasn't allowed to do it. They brought in the special effects guy, and they put him on snatch lines, and they used all practical explosions. They actually did blow the setup for this out, and they blew me and my 2 assistants 30 foot across the set, and then of course, because the capsule had been breached, then the vacuum of space then sucked us out into space. So these special effects guys got blown across the set, and then the snatch lines took them 60 feet clear to the top of the set. And then they lowered them back down, and their costumes were still so hot that the dressers couldn't get them out of the costumes because they were too hot to touch.
Why?
Why have they cut that out?
Why?
Very popular, but I think also very shocking. It was too real and too graphic and too horrible of what they'd just done to him. So they, after filming it, cut it out of the movie. So
and then we had Leia gliding across the screen.
Yeah, what we see is the bullets and then Ackbar in the background, and then he disappears. To be honest, I would much prefer, obviously, that cool death scene. I mean, Mike was talking about how he died. He also got not as good as that, because he was in a ship that you get to see the ship explode, of course, and whatnot. That's how his character goes, and we don't even get to see that. So Star Wars sequels, what they've been doing wrong is killing off these beloved characters.
Legends.
Wrong. It's just
I would have liked to have gone out a bit more heroically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So would we.
Yeah. Ackbar deserved much better than that. And
kill
Ackbar properly.
I was going to go over to the director, but I walked past one of the video monitors, and they were actually playing the storyboards now are done as animatics, are done as sort of movies, drawn out movies, And when I knew they were going to blow me up, I was going to go to the director and say, can I have one last moment of heroism? And as we get sucked out, I just get an arm around my console and try and save Carrie as she goes out the window.
That would have been good. That would have been so
That would have been so good.
But then, of course, I saw the cartoon and realized that I went out the window, but Carrie came back again.
Yeah.
So I don't need to save Carrie because Carrie saves herself.
It would have been so cool if we got a Gandalf-y Ackbar moment where he's clinging onto the edge and then managed to slap a button so it closes something, and he's boom. Then that would have been so much better.
Star Wars, what are you doing?
Back in the original movies, we were able to rehearse and actually come up with stuff and show the director things that we really liked. And if we could convince them, then they would say, okay, go ahead and do it. So you got much more involvement. And with the new ones, everything was already written in stone. I blame that on the computer graphics as well, because they can't change anything because the graphics people have to start doing all their drawing and creating before we've even started filming.
Yeah.
So Jim Henson had what he called the magic moment, where you got really good actors, you got really good sets, you got a good script, but somebody on set will do something that'll just stimulate the other people, and all of a sudden they'll all start doing things that were better than the original script, and they keep it in the movie. Unfortunately, when CG came along, I see the actors doing it. The actors start coming up with a good idea, but now the director runs in and says, sorry, you can't do that because the character you're talking to has already been drawn. So you have to stick.
Yeah.
You have to stick to your bit so that bit fits with that bit, and it takes a lot of the creativity. For all the creativity of CG, it ends up taking a lot of creativity out of the final filming process.
I think if it keeps going like that, it might start going backwards. Because I feel like what makes some really good films is people improvising, and because they're the people that have they know the characters probably more than people who've written they've just written a name and describe what they look like. Whereas people who perform the characters, they have to be the characters for hours on end, so they probably know the characters more than them, and yet, you know, people think they just, wait, I'm the boss. This is what's happening.
Well, especially when it's a puppet, they seem to think that they can put anybody in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my last claim to fame was they killed Ackbar off, but at least I was the only one to ever be Ackbar.
Yeah, that is
At the conventions, there was always this thing with Dave Prowse of Dave Prowse was Darth Vader, except for the other 6 guys who played Darth Vader in various scenes.
Yeah.
You know, all of that. So a lot of the other characters they didn't fully respect.
No. It's
but you can, you know, when you put somebody else in Fozzie Bear, you know that's not still Fozzie Bear.
Yeah.
So
unless it's
the performer does come through the character, as you say.
Unless it's you being Fozzie Bear, at which point Frank Oz started
I was
thinking he's about to get fired. But I think we're going to have to wrap it up there. So, Tim, it was an honour for you joining us. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast for today. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Barlow, also thanks to you for stepping in as well. Tim, is there anything you'd like to promote before we go?
Is your pop signed or?
Pop signed? It's not signed, actually, no.
Oh, okay. So we never met each other at a convention then.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, we're 100%. I'll be there.
Well, I do have my own website, admiralackbar.co.uk.
All right. Well, go everyone.
I have the full explanation for the most often told story of how Harrison Ford fired me off of Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
But it's a long story, so I'm not starting that. But if you go to the website, you can read it.
So, everybody, go check out Tim's website down below. It'll be down below, link down below. How many times do you want to say down below? It'll be down below.
And you get my Star Wars collection, which is basically all the stuff that people have given me over the years at the conventions. I've been given such wonderful stuff, and I didn't know what to do with it, so finally I took pictures of it all and put it on the website as
that would be really cool.
As an online museum piece or something. So.
Yeah.
And I've got 4 more items sitting on the floor in my bedroom right now that I haven't photographed and put on there yet. I'll do it. Get it all there.
Yes, that'll be really cool to check out. So everybody, if you want to check that out, link is in the description.
Down below.
I avoided down below. Anyway, Tim, thank you for joining us for today, and thank you everybody for watching this episode of the Friend Zone podcast, and we will see you next week.